Art and the heart. That's the name of today's topic. The topic for the whole week that I'm kind of leaning towards, I hinted at it yesterday, well, I didn't hint, I said it, is pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones. And I think that starts with leaning into your own heart. And so I'm going to start there today. So let me just, before I get into the heart thing, let me talk a little bit about the comfort zone thing in general. You're probably familiar with the expression, nothing that you want is in your comfort zone. You got to get outside your comfort zone. Blah, 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 right? Comfort zone's bad, outside comfort zone, good. Okay? As artists, that's not really such a bad thing. It kind of goes along the lines of coloring outside the lines, right? It's just a simple metaphor to go along with that. But I think as in terms of comfort zones, comfort zone is how we sometimes end up doing things according to the programming that we have in our heads because it's comfortable to stick to that programming. We know what to expect. We know what the outcome is going to be. We know how to do the thing that we're doing inside the comfort zone. And so we kind of tend to stay there, even though logically, consciously, we think, oh, this isn't good. I end up doing the same thing over and over again, and I end up in the same place over and over again. So I've been trying to figure out, like, how do we push ourselves outside of the comfort zone? And I've been learning a lot about that through other resources. And so I want to share with you today and in the ensuing days some of the things that I've been learning and have figured out for myself, and then give you ideas about how to apply it to your own life and your art. So, by the way, if you have comments while I'm talking, please drop them in there and I'll read them at the end. So, what do you call it? Let's start with my comfort zone. My comfort zone is sort of knowing the steps that I'm going to take. It's having an outlined plan. I'm pretty analytical in that sense, especially when it comes to my business. I don't have plans and things for my family life and home life. I kind of just allow things to flow there. And ironically, those are usually a lot easier for me than business things. Business things, I have highs and I have lows, and it's frustrating at times because you just want to reach those highs and you want them to stay. So I've tried using different business models, different tactics and things, usually stuff that I learn from other people. Let me ask you if this sounds familiar, right? Especially in business, but it kind of applies to anything in life, really. You see somebody who has success in a thing you wish to have success in, and you take their course, or you read their book, or you talk to them maybe, I don't know, right? And you take their advice, and they tell you how they did it, right? Oh, I did this. It's step 1, step 2, step 3, whatever. And then you try doing those steps, and it doesn't work, right? So, and it's not that the steps themselves are bad, it's that it's not really coming from a place internally to you. It was internal for them, but you're following their blueprint to do your thing. Doesn't work. So for me, it was always a comfort zone thing to follow somebody else's blueprint because I just want to get to the end result that I want to get to, and it doesn't work. Why is it outside of my comfort zone to do my own thing? Because I don't know what to expect. I don't know what the next step is going to be. I like knowing what 3 or 4 steps ahead. I like knowing what the next 3 or 4 steps are going to be ahead of time. And it's difficult for me to start something, say a Facebook group, and not know what the next thing is, or not know where I'm taking it next week even. And so the drawback to staying inside your comfort zone is that you have these big plans, but you never really start them, or you start them on the wrong track, and then you realize a month, a year, a week into it that you're like, this isn't taking me anywhere that I want to go. So, here's what I've been thinking about with this. I've been thinking about the quantum odyssey and the spiritual artist and these words that I've chosen without really even understanding at the time the full scope of why I chose them. And so I'm going to just kind of lay out a couple of them real quick. Spiritual was kind of easy because I knew that I wanted to talk to people who consider themselves light workers or starseeds or way showers or whatever word you like, right? So spiritual is kind of like an all-encompassing word for us. People who are in the awakening or who are awakened, who understand law of attraction, whatever place in that you fall, That's you, right? And we kind of feel that we know things that most people don't know, right? It's fair to say. And we're enlightened to a certain degree. And in a way, it's like we're holding a space for everybody else in the world to hurry up and catch up, because watching your crap is really getting boring and annoying. Right? And frustrating, especially when you get wrapped up in it. So that's the spiritual part of this. And then there's the artist part, which I think adds a very interesting layer to it for us. Because within the spiritual realm, you have people who most of them are not artists per se. They could be creative, but they're not really painters, artists, dancers, writers, whatever. Maybe they consider themselves healers or other things, right? And so for us as artists, we have this unique talent where we can take a vision that we have in our minds and turn it into something tangible to show other people, right? That's what art is. It's a way to reach into your heart and pull something out and be like, oh, hey, do you see this? Well, you do, because it's on a piece of paper, or it's on canvas, or it's in a video, or it's in a song that you can listen to. Or you can watch me perform it, right? Whatever the art form is. That's why I didn't make this spiritual painters or spiritual writers or spiritual performers. It's artists, because it doesn't matter to me what the medium is. We have this ability to reach into our heart and just pull out the energy, literally transform energy into matter that people can see and get the emotional feeling that we felt. Even if somebody, oh darn it, the name just went right out of my head. Somebody in the group posted something today with pulling the curtains back. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. And I made a comment about how it's so interesting to me to see how everybody here can just put different meaning to different things. And she had numbers in there that she said were part of light language that she translates. And, whether you do light language or even know what that is completely irrelevant, because what it is it's just a way for us to take the energy and the emotion that we have and put it out there so that other people can see it. So that's the spiritual artist part, right? And then, as if that weren't enough, I was thinking of the word quantum, and I kind of had this idea. What if nobody else existed? What if you were the only person in the world? And I don't mean like imagine that you are. I mean like, what if literally you are right now, this moment? What if I don't exist? I'm just some 2D thing on a screen that you're watching right now, and you are literally the only consciousness in the universe. And you've just created all these other avatars to play with, right? So in that sense, then, we're not holding space for everybody else to catch up. What if that means is we are everybody, and we're holding space for ourselves? I'm holding space for myself to catch up with me. I'm holding space for the little avatar me to catch up with the big me. And what if, as these light workers or star seeds, but as artists, our job isn't to bring other people with us. Our job is just to bring ourselves to the party. And that's why I'm constantly saying, like, create from the heart, create what you want to create. On the one the other day, where the Daily Fuel the other day, where we were talking about social media, one of the things I said was create things that you like. And I think that this is just constantly the answer for me, is just to create from your own heart, create what lights you up, because that will light up the other people around you that don't really exist, but are just another version of you to come along for the ride. So anyway, this is the beginning of this. Tomorrow, I really want to talk about ways to get outside of your comfort zone this week, but I just wanted to kind of lay the groundwork for why I was talking about this. I think that some of us we live inside of these comfort zone bubbles, and we're not really pushing the boundaries of what we can do. And I personally want to, and then use my experience as sort of an inspiration, like, watch me do it, and whoever wants to do it with me, let's do it together, and we can do it in this group, and then you can take it outside the group. You don't have to show us, you could do it somewhere else. It doesn't really matter. I think what matters is that we do it. So, all right, I'm going to pause this one here and go to the comments because I see some popping up now, and I'll say hello to you guys. Hello. Blake is here. Hey, Bobby. Hey, Blake. How are you? Amy is here. We are doing well. That's great. And hello. Hello. Amy, how are you? And Ray says hugs. Hello, Ray. How are you? Always nice to see you here. Ray says sometimes the steps are not numbered for you. Everyone has to figure out the steps they need to take. Ain't always easy. That really is it. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is new for me. I know I keep saying, oh, I used to run a group, blah, blah, blah. That group was nothing like this. That group was regimented by the numbers. I had coaches who were helping me lay out like a whole business plan with it. And I did it for like a year and got to this point where I was like, I am running somebody else's game plan and it's not mine. And I don't even know where I am anymore. I just ended up out in this cornfield going like, what? I don't even know where my house is. My car is gone. Didn't know anything. I didn't know what kind of business I was running. I was selling things that I didn't want to sell. It was just frustrating and annoying. And I kind of like, I had to close it down. At first I had to deliver everything that I sold. So there was that. And then I had to close it down and start over. And then piece by piece, just figure out, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? All the while, you still got to pay your bills and you still got to, feed your kids and all that stuff. I couldn't just like live in a cave for a year and emerge like, someone from the top of the mountain with the tablets going, I figured it out. Look, I couldn't do that. I had to figure it out while doing the doing here. And then suddenly I was just like, there was so much about the group that was right. There was this much about the group that was wrong. And I just had this nudge. I was just feeling this nudge to take a leap and do it the right way this time. And so I did. I started it, and I keep having to course correct a little bit. But yeah, you're right. The steps aren't numbered. Like I've said before, I wake up every day and I don't know what I'm going to do on Daily Fuel. I don't have like the next month of Daily Fuels laid out and this whole like grand scheme plan. This is a stream of consciousness thing for me. And this is me building my life right in front of your eyes. Hopefully it's of value enough to you that you can take some piece of nugget out of this ridiculousness and say like, oh, I can try that. Anyway, let me continue. Blake says, aren't all artists spiritual just by their very nature? I really do think you're right there. They are explorers. They think outside the box. Ooh, explorers. That is such a good word for us, right? I think artists are spiritual by nature because I think spirit is the heart. I think all art comes from the heart, and I think that without all of those pieces together, yes, you can have a talent where you could just draw something and whatever, but I think to be the kind of artist that we are talking about and nurturing here, we are spiritual just by default, I think. Well, technically everybody is spiritual just by default. We just kind of deny it, I think though as artists we kind of have that talent that we have helps keep us tethered to it a little bit more than, say, other people who get lost in the daily grind of work and stuff. They might not have something that is so obviously tangible to lean on when they're feeling disconnected from their source, right? We have art and we can just like, how many people don't even consider themselves artists per se because they don't work in the field, they work in an office, they do this, they do that, but when they go home, once a year, once a month, or every single day, whatever it is, they use art. It could be doodling, it could be drawing, it could be painting, sculpting, whatever. They use it as a way to reconnect, and that's something that not everybody has as a tool to reconnect. And so, yeah, I think that's a special talent and a special gift that we have. And I guess that's one thing is like, let's not take it for granted. Tony, hey Tony, how are you, buddy? Nice to see you here. Art, an act of manifesting one's inner workings to an outer expression. Absolutely, right? That's a very good way of putting what I said. We literally take energy and turn it into matter. We literally manifest our inner workings as an outer expression. I love it. Thank you for that. Amy, still here. Amy, there has been tons of value in what you have done here, learning lots. Oh, thank you, Amy. I really appreciate that. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm a nut, and I know that I'm nutty on these. It would be funny if you hung out with me all day. I say more words in this half hour than I do the rest of the 23 and a half hours of the day, right? And a lot faster. Okay. Ray, each person has to step according to their own numbers. A 9 personality won't be able to take the same step that an 8 personality would. 9s would do it with humanity in mind, while an 8 would be dealing with material worth. Okay, so I guess what you're saying is like each of us with our life numbers. Ray, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Ray is very into, Ray, what would you call it? Numerology? I'm not sure. Just tell me what you would call this interest that you have in this. But anyway, she can like tell you what number you are, and apparently everything I do ends up being like a 3, which is interesting to me because I don't do it on purpose. The words that I choose for things, and my name, and the way that I do everything, and then so it's what she's saying here is that by the virtue of what number you are, we each have like different things that are important to us innately, and that shows in our work and in our life. Numerology, great, thank you. Tony says it's an art in itself to organize one's self, to show up and express that self in a coherent manner. Let me read that again. Hang on. It is an art in itself to organize oneself, to show up and express that self in a coherent manner. See, the magic words for me there were show up, because we are all talented. Everybody in this group is talented. And I believe that everybody on earth is talented. We all have a core genius talent. I just like talking to people whose core genius talent is in the art world. To me, that's more fascinating than other things. But we have this talent, and we can either show up and use it and express it or not. And it's your choice. We have free will. And I'm saying that I think that it's in our comfort zone sometimes to not, I don't feel like showing it. I don't feel like posting this. I don't feel like sharing this. What if they don't like it? What if I'm not good enough? What if that person's better than me? Those are the things that keep us in our comfort zones, those things we say in our heads. But if we show up, do I think I'm the greatest orator and live doer and group runner in the world? No. I'm sure that I could join plenty of groups or see plenty of people speak on stage or sing or anything that I would consider better than me. But if I did that and then said, oh my goodness, they're better than me, why would anybody like me? Then I wouldn't show up. And I wasn't showing up for quite some time until I decided, I'm going to show up. So thank you for that, Tony. Ray said, we all chose things that way and don't even know we do. We all choose things that way and don't even know we do it. Yeah, because with the numerology, she's talking about the numerology. The numbers are just innate to us. It's not like somebody says to you, oh, you're a 9 and that means this. And then you make conscious decisions to do things based on that. You just do it. And, most of the time they fall in line with what you are. Whew, okay, well, if that's the last comment, we will end this here. And Ray, you get the booby prize today because you're the last comment. And that's it. I don't really have a wrap up. You guys got the gist of this. I'm going to go, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it every single day. And we will continue our comfort zone talk tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.